Good. All right. Welcome in today. Welcome to your mat. Congratulations for taking time out of your busy day to show up for yourself and practice some yoga. My name is Jess. This is Spiritual Physique Yoga, and I will meet you back here on your mat. Let's come into an easy seated pose when you're ready. We are going to work on some core strengtheners today. Work on some twisting, some cleansing and detoxifying asanas, along with work. Should help to clear out some old stagnant energy in the body. So first, let's just take a few moments. Hopefully this new headphone stays with us for the duration of our practice today. Feels a little loose, so we'll see how it goes. Let's take a moment and check in. Closing the eyes as you are seated or laying down on the earth. Take a moment to just notice your body. Take a moment to become aware of the thoughts that you might be having about noticing your body, and then just come back into feeling. So can you feel your body? Without doing anything, can you feel your heartbeat? Can you feel the breath inside the body as the lungs, the chest, the belly rise and fall with your inhales and exhales? Can you begin to connect to the subtle sense of vibration, your own signature vibration in the body, your energetic field? Can you feel, starting from your very tips of your toes without moving them, can you feel the tips of your toes? Can you bring that feeling awareness up each toe towards the foot and become aware with feeling of your feet, top, the sides, the bottom? As you take another deep breath, begin to usher that awareness up the ankles. Drop again into that feeling sense and forget about the thoughts that continuously invite themselves into your space here. It's okay. They will see themselves right back out as we continue to shift our awareness up our shins, around our calves, kind of like a spiral, circling the lower leg and coming up to the knee. Can you feel both knees here? Can you feel that tingle of aliveness? Take another deep breath and feel all of that aliveness there in the lower legs, and then invite it up towards the thighs, towards the hamstrings. And then just really breathe into the legs, those lower limbs. Breathe awareness into them. This is a slow practice of shifting out of our day, which typically involves a lot of responding and responsibility and focusing and relying on our senses, such as our sight. So we close the physical eyes so that we can come deeper into the body, and we can set everything else aside here. Start to come up towards the hips. And the hip area is considered our energetic emotional center. So notice as you send breath in and around the hips, the front, the sides, so the outer hips, and around to the back as well, where the low back is. Send some breath and some love there, and just notice, is there a feeling? Is there an emotion? Is there something that is there to be recognized? Let's take another deep breath there. We're coming into the awareness of our body. Begin to draw that awareness slowly Help the side bodies up to the belly, to the mid back. And again, like we did around our legs, kind of wrapping around the body as we keep the eyes closed and continually drop into feeling the body. It is quite a different practice than being in the thinking mind, which is our default, which happens without us trying. It is the way that we operate and we move through life, and it's part of what keeps us safe, and that operating system is a strong one. So this takes a little bit more time. It's a lot more subtle, and it takes patience. So just continue, even if you kind of need to back up to the hips or to the knees or start over at the toes. Just continually choose to come into the feeling in the body. And then just continue to bring it on up until you come towards the heart space in the chest. We're going to pause here with some long, slow, deep, intentional inhales and exhales into the heart space. What helps me drop into feeling, especially here, is to imagine that my breath is coming to and from my heart. So not neglecting my lungs, they're amazing. I am super grateful for them. But imagine that this is your heart breathing. Can you inhale and invite aliveness and awareness into your heart space and see if there is an emotion or a feeling that's hanging out there. And as you exhale, to release any bit of tension, any bit of stagnation, anything that is there that isn't serving, you just open the mouth, exhale, and allow it to leave the body. And we'll do this a few more times. Oftentimes, as we practice this, especially around the heart space, it's kind of, in the center of the body. It gets a lot of attention, the heart chakra in particular, and a lot of love because it is the heart. But just consider for a moment that you are anchoring down into the core of the body. So if your heart was your core, here you are breathing to and from your heart. So you are receiving energy in. Whatever serves you and whatever is coming your way is completely meant for you today. And on the exhale, you're releasing anything that is going, that is not serving, has reached its expiration or its limit, and we're allowing it to go freely. And then just kind of notice how the lower body feels and up to the heart. Are we able to stay in that felt sense of the body? And if so, when you're ready, begin to draw that feeling awareness up towards the chest, bottom of the throat, up towards the shoulders, where many of us carry a lot of tension, where we have energetic burdens that are kind of weighing us down. Just kind of notice what's hanging out there in your shoulders, around your neck. Breathe into and with it. Again, notice the thoughts, notice them leave, and come back into the feeling. So we're going to hang out here at the throat, and we're going to take another deep breath. We will switch to our fingertips. Begin to draw awareness into those fingertips, and then slowly up those fingers to the hands. So once again, without moving the body, if you're just joining us, we're just practicing connecting to that subtle energetic body, our own signature vibration here, just by using our conscious awareness and our conscious breath. So begin to draw that aliveness, the awareness up the arms, Again, imagine it wrapping around, circling and spiraling. As you feel the energy come up and towards the shoulders, it's going to meet up with that energy that was at right around our throat chakra. We'll take our time here, and then from here on up towards the crown chakra, you're going to do this all on your own. So when you're ready and in your own time, you'll invite that awareness and that felt sense of the subtle body to continue all the way up until you are at the tip of your head and above. Taking your time, allowing the thoughts to flow in and out, and coming back into the breath, showing you the way back into the body. If we ever feel like we lose that awareness, right, we just follow the breath. It comes in, and if you hold that breath, you can feel the tingles, the aliveness, that vibration. As you exhale and you're open to release, let go, and make space, again, you can connect to that sense. We're looking for that subtle sense. Good. So wherever and however you are seated on your mat, you're just going to go ahead and make your way down to your back. So if it's possible to keep the eyes closed, that's beautiful. If not, position yourself, come all the way down onto your back. And from here, we'll bend those knees, hug them in, rock side to side a few times. So hang out over on one side when you get there and make small circles for the low back, outer hip. Again, close the eyes and notice what the body is feeling and what might come up for you as you spend time in this area, as you spend intention here. And then we'll release the arms down by our sides. Just tap the toes on the mat and bring the knees in. Just a few times. Tap the toes, knees are bent, bring them in towards the chest. Good. 3 more times here. Feel the tailbone, the sacrum, parts of the lower back. And after your 3rd time, knees can stay in. The legs will come to a tabletop. So knees are bent somewhere over hips. You can flex the feet or point those toes. It's up to you. We'll lift the head up and off the mat if that's accessible and feels okay. Chin to chest, arms down, palms face the earth. And so here we'll just drop the right heel and pick it back up. And then the left. We'll switch. Close the eyes, really nothing to see here, right? So again, invite that sight, that seeing inward. What can we feel? What can we notice about the thoughts? Are they serving us as we start to move the body? Good. So we'll do 2 more each side. And after that last one, we'll roll the head down and send those legs up. Now, if the hamstrings are extra tight, knees can stay bent. We just are lifting the legs over the body. So it's a lower body inversion here. Let your arms and head rest on the mat a little bit. Point and flex the feet. Maybe circle out the ankles. Move those legs around. Good. And from here, we'll inhale the arms up and overhead, reaching beyond us. And exhale, lift and round up so fingers come towards toes. And we'll stay here and take small pulses at the very top. Again, closing the eyes, inviting the tailbone to lift up and away from the earth. And count yourself down from 10. And roll head, shoulders, and arms down above you. Stretch those arms and then stretch those legs out. Bring them back up. Just 3 more times. Halfway. Last 2. Bend those knees if you need. It works just as well. Knees bent. And up. Good. Upper body up, fingertips up. All right, 3 times. Take a deep inhale here. Stretch out, arms above, legs out. And exhale. Bring it up towards the sky. Twice more. Long, wide V. Hover off the ground. Bring it up. Last time you can do it. Reach in opposite directions and hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down and rest. Palms face the sky. Eyes closed. Legs relaxed. Toes just roll out to the sides. And come back into the body. Follow the breath. Come into that heartbeat. So we're going to transition here with some roll-ups, and we will transition our way to standing at the top of our mat. So once you're ready, knees bend and come into the chest, and just take a few rolls, just back and up. And take your time until you feel ready to roll all the way up to stand. Right, top of the mat. Coming to stand, rolling the shoulders back and down. Take a moment to ground down through those feet. Yeah, so just as we practiced seated here, close those eyes. Lift all 10 toes off of the earth, engage the quads. Shift the hips a little bit forward and the shoulders a little bit back. Roll all 10 toes down to connect to the earth. Keep those legs engaged. And inhale, circle the arms. Lift and reach as you look all the way up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Spread them wide. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, let's fold. Bend those knees. Be nice and gentle. Inhale, just halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees a lot. Torso touches the thighs. And inhale, rise. On the exhale, cactus. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway up on our inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, bend those knees generously again. Belly touches the thighs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bend the knees to come into chair pose. So I'm going to step right here. Good. So hands are at heart center, and let's take a look down over our fingers for our toes. If we can't see them, shift our knees and hips back. If we have a really big sway here in the low back and the belly spilling forward, round under. So here with the pelvis, just tuck under, sit a little further back. So we're going to find our balance point, our drishti here with our gaze. So wherever you'd like to look that isn't moving, find that point and lift the right foot up and off the mat. Good. Pause here. set it back down. Staying in our chair pose, we'll lift that left foot up and off the mat. Stay bent in that right knee. You can do it. And place the left foot down. Inhale, rise. Exhale out of the mouth, cactus. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands behind us. So interlace those fingers, pull down towards the earth. Pulling shoulder blades together, stretching open through the chest. If you feel grounded through your feet, close the eyes. Invite yourself back into the body. 2 more rounds of breath. And from here, all we'll do is bend our knees. Keep that bind if that works. We want to continue to open the front body. So we bend the knees, and let's lift that right foot once again up and off the mat. And then step that right foot all the way behind us. And as those right toes touch, then just bend that right knee, come down towards the earth. So we're just in a low lunge. So shifting forward and back. Good. And then let's stay in our low lunge. Release the bind. Bring the right hand to the earth, fingertips down, left arm twists and reaches towards the sky. Now we're going to come off of the right hand, staying in the twist. Just come up and off that right hand. Nice. And notice if we come out of our low lunge, invite ourselves back down through those hips. Reach arms in opposite directions. Good. We'll drop this left hand to the back of the right leg. Square our shoulders and heart forward. Lift up, reach up, and maybe look up as you sink the hips down. You can walk those fingers down the back of the right leg. Take 2 more deep rounds of breath. Squeeze this back right glute and release it. Squeeze and release. Open the front of that hip. Nice. Circle left arm up to meet the right. Exhale, hands down to the inside of that left leg. Just walk that left foot out. Create a little bit more space. Shift the hips forward and back a few times. So with that left foot nice and wide, we're going to plant the left fingertips and twist right arm up. Two more rounds of breath. And let's come up and off of that left hand. We're going to wrap the right arm behind our back, square once again, shoulders towards the front, lift up, reach up. Release, right arm up and all the way down. Tuck those back toes, come off of the knee, shift the hips forward and back a few times, and then step the left foot back to find the right foot. High plank. Two more rounds of breath. Shift forward on an inhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows so they're in line with the body, squeezing the ribs, come halfway down and hold for 3, 2, 1. Press up, twice more. So I'll also face you here. So elbows are in line with the body, eyes at the elbows are forward, bend those elbows, come halfway down, 3, 2, 1. Press up. Great job. One more time. We shift forward, bend, 3, 2, and 1. Come up and back, child's pose. Arms back by your sides, palms face the sky, forehead to the earth. mouth for your exhales. Notice how it feels to breathe towards the backside of the heart and body. Feel the ribs expand, contract with the breath. Move around in your child's pose until this feels really good. If it would feel better to outstretch the arms, walk those fingertips away from you. We'll transition out of our child's pose, lifting up towards a tabletop. Let's tuck those toes under, lift the hips to walk forward to the top of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale just halfway. Exhale out of the mouth, fold, bend those knees, belly, chest touches our thighs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, cactus. Maybe begin to add a small back bend. Inhale, lift up with the arms and fingers, and exhale, fold. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold deeply, bend the knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale out of the mouth, cactus the arms, hips and pelvis forward. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, bend those knees. So here we are in our chair pose, Uttanasana. Once again, knees bent, hands at heart center for our balance. Find a point to focus on the floor that isn't moving, and lift that left foot up and off the mat. You got it. And transition so that we can step the left toes to the back of the mat, and as we do, lower down that left knee and shift the hips forward and back. Coming into our low lunge. We'll bring left fingertips to the earth, and when you're ready, twist right arm towards the sky. And continue with the breath. And now engaging through the core as we get ready to lift off of those left fingertips. Just come real lightly onto the tips of the fingers and then lift up into this twisted lunge. If we came out, sink back down. Yeah. Good. 2 more rounds of breath. We'll bring this right hand to the back of the left leg. Square the shoulders towards the front, sink the hips. Lift up as we sink down. Good. Release, right arm goes up with the left, and exhale, both hands to the inside of that right foot. So walk that right foot out to the right, a little bit more space for those hips. Forward and back a few times. And then from here, this time, the right hand, either fist, palm, or fingertips, will plant on the mat, and we'll twist left arm up. Slow the breath down. Take one more deep round. And then lift off of those right fingers. Good. Again. Square, this time left hand to left leg, square shoulders forward, sink down, lift up, reach up. Left arm comes up on an inhale, exhale down. Tuck those back toes, come off of the knee. Shift forward and back. And as you're ready, high plank. So in our high plank, we'll pause here. Lift the right leg up and off the mat and give 3, 2, 1 at the top. Switch for left. Lift 3, 2, 1. Toes down. Inhale forward.
Knees down, exhale, bend, lower down. Good. Come into a baby cobra. So settle in with the breath. Close the eyes. And if the elbows are kind of falling out like wings, bring them back in so the inside of the arms are touching the side bodies. And so from here, lift just the right leg off the mat. Lengthen that leg back. Good. And then lift at the top, little pulse for 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Readjust your head. So notice if you feel wrinkles in the back of the neck, then come into a place with your head and your posture that you feel long through the back of the neck. And once you have that, left leg lifts. And at the top of your lift, we have 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Lower the forehead to the earth with an exhale. And we're going to move the hands so that we create a shelf or a pillow for our forehead. And just lower down to rest your forehead on your arms. Take a couple more rounds of breath. Good. So here with forehead staying down and connected to your arms, once again, let's lift that right leg. Keep that head down. Maybe it lifts a little bit higher. 3 pulses at the top. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Take a breath. Both legs relax. Left leg goes back and up. Find the top of your lift. And 3, 2, and 1. And down. Good. So important to keep our head down and resting on our arms as we just isolate the lower back here. All right, from here, both legs will lift off the mat. Doesn't have to be a big lift. Just find the height of that lift. Squeeze through the glutes, the back of the legs, the low back, and take 3 pulses. And lower down. Good. We're going to do this twice more. So release through a round of breath. And then once again, lift those legs. Try to keep them straight without bending the knees. And 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. For many of us, our low back is tight. Oftentimes it does come from the hamstrings or from sitting too much. Not too much, but often. So let's do it one more time. Legs lift up and off the mat. Good. Find the height of that lift. And then 3, 2, 1. Lower down, release, relax. Good. So after isolating the low back like that, I like to do just a little bit of gentle twisting. So we'll see if we can come into it nice and gently here. We're going to bend that right knee and slide it out to the right. And then left arm goes up and away from us as we just roll onto the outside edge of that left shoulder and roll the right arm behind us. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like or how you got into this twist. Just come into a nice gentle twist for the low back and the outer hip. Palms to face the sky will help the shoulders release and soften. Closing the eyes, coming out of that thinking mind again. I like to imagine as a visual that I'm kind of up in my thinking mind all the time, right? Up in my head where we like to touch our brain. And so imagine that
coming from our thinking mind, that I take a deep breath in through the mouth, and that breath draws me down, 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 and into my body. Maybe a visual is helpful for you as well. And take a few more deep rounds of breath. Open the mouth for your exhales. Just allow this twisting to be just as it is. Don't force anything. It's just gravity helping you. And so slowly we'll just untwist this right arm back towards our body, and we'll roll back onto the belly as we straighten that right leg behind us. And then just take a moment on the belly. Again, let your head rest on your arms. A couple rounds of breath. Can you connect to that feeling, that felt sense in the body down by the low back and the outer hips? Can you bring the breath all the way down to that area? And when you're ready, the right arm just slides up. The left knee bends out to the left, stays connected to the earth. And then just roll over that right shoulder as the left arm goes behind you. And just kind of wiggle your way. Wiggle that right arm and shoulder over and underneath you. And then close the eyes. Release the jaws, so the exhales release out of the mouth. Release any attachment to ideas or thoughts, anything that was created from the thinking mind. And come into the body without trying to name what you're feeling or how you're feeling. Just come into the body to experience it. We all know that sometimes we forget what people say. We always remember what it felt like. Come into that feeling. It's just a departure from the everyday mental into the feeling. And we'll slowly untwist, coming back to the belly and bending the elbows, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders. And we'll press up to a tabletop, hands and knees. And let's take an inhale here and an exhale, drop into cow. Inhale, round into cat. Exhale for cow. A few more times. If you'd like to move side to side or circle it out, go for it. Good, and then we'll exhale all the way back to a child's pose. Walk the fingertips away and hover the arms. So just fingertips are on the earth, hands are tented. Arms are engaged, stretching and walking fingertips away. And we're going to carry that twist just up the body. And again, this is a very gentle twist. So staying on your left fingertips, take the right arm and slide it underneath the left arm. Scooch that right shoulder over. And instead of looking to the left where your right arm is going, bring your forehead down to the earth, or maybe look to the right so that your chin is over your right shoulder. Again, staying on tented fingers on that left hand. And just bringing this twist up towards the mid-body and the shoulders. One more round of breath. And you'll slowly bring that right arm back and in front of you. Tent those fingers. And then slide the left arm under the right when you're ready. Notice how you just kind of want to look to the right where those left fingers are going, but instead forehead down or slightly to the left. And with that last breath, we will slide the left arm forward and draw ourselves up to hands and knees. Good. So from here in our tabletop, we will tuck our 10 toes under and hover our knees up and off the mat. Good. So we're going to stay here and hold. This is called floating tabletop. We're just going to add some of those scapula drops. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're like scapular push-ups. So we just drop down almost like the heart and the belly goes towards the earth, and then round up like you're almost coming into a cat. Right? So if it helps for a visual, imagine cow, drop down and round up, and then do this 5 more times. Not forgetting to breathe. Navel towards the spine to engage the core. And then with that next breath, we'll lift the hips back and up for our first down dog. Step those feet wide towards the edges of your mat. Sometimes I even like to step on the edges of my mat here. And we're going to move the hips side to side, bend those knees. The hamstrings and low back are extra tight. Have a bend to the knees so that you're more on the toes of the ball of the foot. And then just release the head to hang heavy. Good. So from here, we'll walk the feet together towards the center of the mat. And we'll bend just this right knee and slide that right leg over underneath the left. And just release the outer left hip. 2 arms are straight and strong, grounding you to the earth. And now bring this right leg through and lift it up. Right leg goes up in a 3-leg down dog, and then bend the knee. And again, let that foot go over to the left. And we're going to stay with this side. So inhale, lengthen that right leg, and exhale, come forward. Right knee to the right arm. Touch it, tap it, send it back. Right knee to the left arm. Squeeze. Inhale it back. And knee comes forward to nose. Send it back. Deep inhale and exhale. Bring that right foot through the hands. And this time we'll stay high in our lunge. So once you're ready to come up, slowly bring the upper body up, staying down in our lunge. Inhale the arms out and all the way up. And exhale, cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to take a twist. The hands at our heart space, kind of our center line, leading the way. So take a deep inhale at center and exhale, twist to the right. So we were already here when we were in our low lunge and our arms were outstretched. So here, hands at heart center, maybe lean forward, elbow to outside of knee. 2 more rounds of breath. And let's untwist. Keep the hands at heart center. Find your focus point, and we're going to step. Top of the mat, chair pose. You got it. 1 more round of breath. And fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, belly touches thighs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, cactus. Add the back bend. Inhale up. exhale as you fold Uttanasana all the way to the earth. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, touch the thighs and the belly, and then step back. High plank. Inhale, hinge forward, and exhale, lower down slowly as you can. If you come down, untuck those toes. Bring the arms back by your sides. So, locust pose, arms back, nose down, eyes closed. Take a deep inhale and lift the legs up off the mat. Invite everything to lift and fly, and at the top of your locust, we'll take 3 pulses. 3, 2, and 1. Release, hands down underneath shoulders. Press up to a tabletop or a high plank. Take an inhale, exhale, down dog. Again, go wide with the feet. Shift those hips, bend those knees. Two more rounds of breath. Walk those feet together in the center of the mat. We'll bend that left knee and slide that foot across. And as you do, just allow the outer right hip to release. Kind of like bump your hip out to the right. Arms are straight and strong. Head hangs heavy. Weight shifts back. 2 more rounds of breath. And let's bring that left leg through and lift it all the way up. 3-legged down dog. Reach back and behind you and then bend the knee. Open up through that hip. Let the left foot come over towards the right. Maybe look under the right arm. Can you see that foot and those toes? Good. Inhale, lengthen that left leg. Exhale, bring it forward. Tap the left arm. Squeeze and send it back. Tap the right arm. Squeeze. And back. Knee to nose. Bring it forward. And back. And bring that left foot through. All right, rise as you're ready. Crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Come up nice and slow. And then arms come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So as you're ready, we'll start to engage that twist. So keeping the lower body stable, take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Yeah. Stay here if you'd like, nice and high, or lean forward, hook that elbow, and use it to help you twist just a bit more. 2 more rounds of breath. You got it. I'm here with you. And untwist. Gaze down and forward. Step into that chair pose. Hands at heart center. Shift the weight back into those heels. And then shift the weight to the toes. And bend those knees. Come down nice and slow. So we're at a squat pose at the top of our mat. So here we're going to practice the rock and roll and come up to stand here just a little bit. So when you're ready, drop back, roll forward and back. If it helps, you can use your hands on the ground. You can use your arms for momentum. Swing the legs. Handset is not allowing me to do this. When you're ready, you're going to come right back up to stand. Okay, folding over, forward fold. Fingertips on the mat here. We'll lift that right leg back. right leg extends. You can stay here or ground your right hand on the mat. Bend that right knee, reach those left toes back. Engage. Notice the breath. Good. And then release. Your right toes will go to the back of the mat, 45-degree angle as we come up to a warrior two. Now we won't be here very long. So once you arrive, invite those hips to open, arms to outstretch. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Once again, reverse. Inhale. Through center on the exhale, side angle. Come up, triangle. So right hip, instead of being at center, goes back to the right. Left arm comes forward. You can hold this hip if you'd like to see what happens as you just lower upper body. Trikonasana. Last round of breath. Warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down as you spin onto those back toes. Left foot back to meet the right. High plank is an inhale to shift you forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, mid cobra, maybe come up halfway. Exhale, release down to the ground. Tuck the toes, press up, high plank or tabletop. Down dog on the exhale. Take a few rounds of breath. Up on the tiptoes, bend those knees, look forward to your hands, step to the top of the mat, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, torso touches thighs, inhale, rise. Exhale out of the mouth, cactus, back bend, open the heart, the chest, inhale up. Exhale, fold. All right, fingertips plant here on the earth. And as you're ready, left leg floats back and up. Find one point to focus on if you're going to move on, bending that left knee, reaching right hand back and finding the toes or the foot, and the kick is up. Last round of breath. If you have that foot, release it. And we're going to send the toes to the back of the mat, roll the heel down, and right away, cartwheel up, our warrior two. Once again, not here too long, so inviting this left hip to open back where those left toes are pointing. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale through center. Inhale, side angle. We reach forward and all the way over or up. Inhale, reverse, staying in that lunge. And side angle once more. Bring it up. Find your triangle pose if it helps. Use the hand so that you're kicking the left hip back higher than the right hip. And I like to feel my hands on my body for that. And when you're ready, right arm forward and rotate. Two more. You got it. We'll come back through warrior two as we bend that knee. Cartwheel the hands down. Let's take one more flow. High plank forward, inhale. Low plank or halfway down, come to your back bend. Transition, down dog. We're going to shorten the length of our down dog by walking your feet forward or your hands back. Then again, if you need to bend the knees and this is too much, you can bend the knees to come off of the heels. When you're ready, we'll bring the right hand to the outside of that left leg, ankle,
whatever you can reach. Twist, bend that right elbow, look underneath the left arm. Bend those knees as much as you need or would like. We'll get ready to switch, ground that right hand and left hand to the right leg. Let's untwist, walk the feet back and the hands forward. Big toes to touch side by side. Let's come into our high plank. We're going to bring this right knee to touch the right arm. Send it back. Bring it to touch the left arm. Send it back to the right arm and back to the left arm and back. Left leg to the left arm and back to the right and back to the left and back to the right. We're done. High plank, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Big toes side by side. Let's come back through our high plank down to our knees. So from here, let's lower down forearms perpendicular to the body. I like to get my upper body situated first, and then we will come off of those knees, tucking toes under into a forearm plank. We're going to get ready to roll. When you're ready, outside edge of that right foot, roll left arm up. Switch, come through center, and right arm up. Switch. 2 more each side. Nice and slow. Controlled with the breaths. Good. Last one, we'll come over and down to our bellies. Untuck the toes. And then we'll bring the arms behind us for locust, this time binding the fingers. As you're ready, lift the arms and lift the legs. Nose points down. 2 more rounds of breath. And release slowly. Hands find the earth. Press up to knees, hips back to heels, child's pose. Open the mouth for your exhales. All right, our last little bit before we make our way down onto our mats for some final stretching and Shavasana. So from child's pose, we're going to plant our hands as you lift your head. Plant our hands so that fingertips are in line with the knees. So we just plant them here alongside. And then we'll roll up. Imagine cat through the upper back. So get really strong. And then float those knees to come in towards the toes. Lower down. We'll do this twice more. And down. Once more. Roll over those toes. Come to stand at the back of the mat. We're going to take a few steps forward towards the middle of the mat. Widen the feet so that the toes are out and the heels are in. And as you're ready, bend those knees to come down into Malasana, a squat pose. Good. So before we come down onto our backs here for the next minute, we're going to play around in our squat pose. Notice that you might be able to find kind of a resting squat down here at the bottom, especially if your heels connect to the earth. And that's not necessary, but for some of us, we can kind of rest, right? But instead of resting, we're going to find that next little layer where we can have a little bit of energy Just kind of imagine it energizing our squat. All right, so I like to do this by sending my arms forward. And all of a sudden, I kind of feel myself lift up just a little bit. Right, so then if you felt that, great. And if you didn't, then come up an inch. All right, stay there for a round of breath and come up one more inch. Nice and slow. Round of breath, one more inch. You got it. Last round of breath, and we rise all the way up. Keep the legs and feet where they are. Cactus. Inhale up. Hands through heart center. We'll come down. Good. Nice and slow. Notice where you kind of just sink and release at the bottom. Right? Nothing wrong with that. Just kind of notice. Good. We'll engage here for a twist. Right fingertips to the earth. Left arm towards the sky. Don't push this if the low back is tight. This can be a lot. We'll just kind of notice where there's a point that your body is receiving just enough and not too much. Untwist back to center and pause before we twist the other way. Take a moment. Left fingertips find the earth. Right arm towards the sky. Back through center to untwist, and then we'll just have a seat. Good. So before we lower down here, bottoms of the feet together, knees open wide. Let's take a few rounds of breath. I like to rock side by side, side to side here. And then just bend at the elbows. If you can hold on to ankles, that's great. Bend the elbows here, and the elbows might come to the legs. Sometimes holding on to the shins feels nice. You bend at the elbows and you press down on the knees. You can interlace fingers underneath the toes if you like. A few rounds of breath. And then we'll come up, bring those knees together. Good. So from here, we'll come just onto big toe tips for Navasana, our boat pose. You can keep hands on knees, front or back. If you like, you can even ground the hands down or out by your sides. So we're going to lift those legs up, take an inhale, and exhale, tap the mat. As we did earlier, right, just a little different, legs are together. 3 more. Last one. Good. Lower the feet, lower the body. Arms down by the sides, palms face the earth. And here we'll lift those hips, bridge pose. A couple rounds of breath just for this first bridge here. And then we're going to again transition into a gentle stretch for the lower back like we did on our belly. So it's not too intense. We want to take it nice and easy. So let's lower down hips to the earth. Walk the feet together so they're side by side. Lift just this right leg. Send it up towards the sky, bend the knee, and then rest the ankle on top of that left thigh or knee. So from here, let's lift those hips again. So this bent right knee is pressing out, pointing down and out to the right. Hips lift. Got 2 more rounds of breath. Press the backs of the shoulders down, triceps, elbows down, forearms down, and then slowly lower. So arms will come out from the sides of our body. Take an inhale. Exhale, just let the lower body twist to the left so that the right foot steps on the earth. So if that's too much, then you can just kind of release, letting that inside of the right foot find the earth. We'll take a couple rounds of breath here. Again, noticing if we can create a bit of space on our exhales by releasing and softening.
And we'll just bring those legs back just the way that they were. So we still have our right ankle on top of our left knee, and we'll come into a figure four, just rocking side to side here, reclined. I like to rock. It helps me because I feel a lot of sensation. So the movement is nice and gentle, especially if the lower back has some tension or the hamstrings are tight. This could be a lot. Just kind of notice where you're at. And then we'll release the ankle off of the knee and send both legs up towards the sky. And just kind of notice if the outer edge of one leg feels different than the other. And we'll bend that right knee, plant the foot. So the left leg is up, and we'll bend that knee, ankle to the top of that right knee. So we'll just move on to the other side. As you're ready, bridge pose. Hips left, that bent left knee points out to the left, forward. Lift just a little bit higher. I got 2 more rounds of breath. We'll take this and slowly bring the hips back down to the earth, arms out from the body, and just let the lower body twist gently. If that happens for you easily, just rest that right foot to the outer edge, and then just let that left foot kind of stand on the earth. Palms face the sky. Soften the jaw, the face, the shoulders. Notice where any tension is being held with the eyes closed. Just bring some of that awareness. And then get ready to untwist by stepping that right foot back on the earth, keeping the left ankle where it is, and reclined figure four. To have a flex in my foot that has the bent knees. So here it's the left foot is flexed, toes towards the sky as you rock to the right and to the left. And then we will release the hands and arms, legs once again go up towards the sky. So just as we began our practice with those large wide V's, we'll end here as well. If you would like a happy baby, or if your body would appreciate another asana prior to Shavasana, then this is a great time to just take a few rounds of breath and do exactly what your body would appreciate the most. If you're ready to move on to those wide V's with me, legs up towards the sky, I like to point my toes, arms up and overhead, reach through the fingertips. Lift the head off the mat, chin comes towards chest. Take a deep inhale as you lengthen and maybe hover legs and arms right off the mat, and exhale, pick it up. Good, we'll do this twice more. Our last one will hold and up. Good, last one, hold as low, hovering off the earth as you can. You got it. Lengthen, traction yourself for 3, 2, 1. Legs down to the earth, arms down to the earth. And you can stay just like this. This is Pentacle Pose. If this feels good for Shavasana, just stay as you are. If you'd like to move or wiggle around into another position, then go for it. It's your Shavasana. This is your time. So come into this position as you're ready. Eyes are closed. Just receive that blanket of gravity here. Just connecting us to the earth. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth as the lower jaw separates. Just allow yourself to release everything. Drawing a deep breath into the body, allowing it to reawaken and re-aliven your senses. Exhaling out of the mouth. A few more rounds of breath here as you wiggle fingers and toes. Reawakening to the rest of your day. Moving the hands and the feet in both the directions as we create circles. And if you're on your back, just letting your head roll right to left. Maybe taking a full body stretch would feel amazing. Arms might be overhead, legs outstretched. When you're ready, bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug, which is the most amazing way to wake up. It's with an embrace. So actually wrap yourself up like you mean it, all the way down to your fingertips. Give yourself a squeeze. Lift your head up and off the mat, your nose, your forehead in towards your knees. Again, squeeze. Good. And just allow yourself to roll to the right or left side, resting in fetal pose, whichever side calls you over is beautiful. We're going to make our way up to seated. Where we began our practice, there is no hurry. I will bring your easy seated pose when you arrive. Reclosing the eyes, taking a moment to take in the moment. Just kind of notice what is so right now. Let's bring our hands together to touch palms and fingers. Bring them in towards the heart space. This is Anjali Mudra. Thumbs into the chest where you can feel your heart beating. Sitting up tall through the spine, taking a moment in pure acknowledgement and reverence for yourself. And if we don't really know what that looks or feels like, here's the simple version. I love you, self. Great job for showing up today and getting on your mat. I love you. I appreciate you. I honor you. Thank you for being on this yoga journey with me for the past 75 minutes. Right? I love you. I love you. We give our I love yous away so freely and easily, even if they may be heartfelt, right? But turning that back around for ourselves, we don't often come into that love for ourselves. So just take a moment and be with that. I love me. A moment in acknowledgement and gratitude for each other, for sharing our practice, our energy. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on this journey with you. And we humbly bow before each other. Namaste. Right. Well, great job. Thank you for being with me. Spiritual Physique Yoga, brought to you obviously via Zoom here in our virtual studio of Yogalution Movement, which is a donation-based studio here in Long Beach, California. All of my donation information, PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, is on my social media, Spiritual Physique Yoga, as well as the Yogalution page. There's a special page for it. And all of Yogalution's social media as well.
Please check out my YouTube where you can come back and find these classes and practice as much as often as you'd like. I am honored to be a part of your journey in yoga, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and take care. Be well.